Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen of that humble internet. Welcome back. Name's Ryan, aka the Ryeman. Welcome to some more of Ryeman's bizarre adventures in Katawa Shoujo. Yes, I know. Many of you are quite sick of seeing this, but when I say that I'm going to try and get something accomplished, I mean it. And if I do not push through, it'll never get done. And I'm trying to be a man that gets things done. If you're watching this, it's probably going to be like more likely the day after Christmas. I'm recording this on Christmas. It's late in the evening. Okay, not that late. It's like 8:30. But it's late for us old people. I'm waiting for my melatonin to kick in. So I figure, what perfect way to put me in an even more relaxed, chill mood and help lull me to a restful sleep than playing some Katawa Shoujo. I mean, it's not like this game ever gets me stressed. Oh, I stress myself. There's nothing stressful about this game. Anyway, Shizune places it down on the ground to free up her hands, and immediately starts playfully tapping it between her feet like a soccer ball. Definitely not what you should do to anything you're going to call a final weapon. That is right, she refers to food as a final weapon. I wish I could find a woman that would just sprinkle that into her conversation with me. Just referring to food as a final weapon? I have this one friend who, wished... Her way of wishing me a Merry Christmas was to say, "May you hit many Nazis today with icicles." And I thought that was magic. That was magical. That was the most wondrous, whimsical, fantasy-ish, most wonderful thing anyone could ever say to a person. And the only way that would have been better is if she said, "May you hit some commies in the eyes with some icicles." All part of my get Misha to stop being so depressed plan. Or GIMITSISBIB as an acronym. I stayed up all night working on it. The plan or that name? When we tried to order in last time, Misha barely got anything, and used it as an excuse to leave early. I won't let her get off so easily this time. The food is already here. She'll have to sit down and eat with us. It's the perfect bait. Doesn't everything look irresistible? I try to make it myself, but I don't know how to make it, look all fancy. So I ended up buying everything. Still looks delicious, doesn't it? It should be. I'm trying to think, if anyone wanted to lure me in, what would the bait be? Besides a pretty girl. The pretty girl has to be with something. It can't just be the girl. I'm gonna know something's up if it's just the girl. Actually, now that I'm putting thought into this, I'm gonna now think everything is a trap. You know what surprised me? She looks very perky today. Juiced up on the thought of cheering Nisha up. Although it's odd to see her so happy about it. I know that she's just as unsure now as she was yesterday. The only thing that has changed is that by viewing it as another sort of challenge for herself, she can put her worries aside and throw herself into it recklessly. It has worked well enough for Shizune so far. It shouldn't surprise me if it's the only way she knows how to live. It's a little early, though. It's already 8 in the morning. That's late. Even Misha gets up at 8 or 9. She goes to bed at 7 p.m. What? 7 p.m.? If I took enough melatonin, I could probably power through even my insomnia. But I probably wouldn't get up in the morning. At least not on time for work. It's very important. Shizune ignores me. gagging my hands by taking them in hers instead of a more proper rebuttal. The way she lingers against me for a moment longer than expected feels really comforting. The point is, she's awake right now, walking around somewhere. Let's go find her. She's not going to be hard to find. I think she's the only woman within a 100-mile radius that has pink hair. God, if this game was remade for today's setting, I couldn't use that line. God, again, don't remake this game for today's setting. She sprints out the door impatiently, and her gusta, as she drags me along looking for Misha, makes me feel more like I'm following a hunter on a safari than looking for a mutual friend. We don't have to look very hard. Even cropped short, her pink hair stands out. The fact that she's just meandering around the grounds in the open makes it even easier. Now I'm sounding like a safari hunter. It's not a bad thing to sound like. Excited ellipses! Misha! We're almost there, Rhyme. We are almost there. We can pull a damn Christmas miracle out of my butt to keep voicing Misha. Strong enough to finish. Huh? We were just looking for you. It's a good day for a picnic. You should join us. We even have caviar. Not sturgeon. Of course, but really tasty. Caviar? Surgeon? Apparently finding it annoying to have to explain everything at length with only one hand, Shizune gives up entirely. Fish eggs. What? It tastes good. Sorry, Shishan. I think I'll pass for today. Fucking get her! When Misha starts to walk away, Shizune holds the bag out towards me, needing me to take it so that her hands can be free. As soon as it's out of her hand, she starts in front of Misha, cutting her off. Oh man, I wonder how long my guts are gonna stand up. I had a very giant Christmas Chinese dinner. And that's partly what's also gonna be like knocking me out. Oh. We can get through this. I started this now. I am not redoing 8 minutes and 20 seconds worth of recording. I made so much food, though. Sorry, I'm just not hungry right now. That is a lie. Ellipses. When are you going to be hungry, then? Shishan, that's impossible to know. If I do not get an anime-style stomach growl right now, you can guess. The tension between them infuriates Shizune, and she's trying to deal with it by trying to tear through it. But that approach isn't going to work. I thought and hoped that Misha had gotten herself together, but I guess she was just cut too deep by what happened. In that case, it's really out of anyone's hands. I believe that Shizune might understand that, on some level. If she didn't, she wouldn't have any doubts at all. Because she can't speak, though, I've learned to notice her hesitation. It's very clear. She might as well be screaming. Misha waves her hands at... Did this bitch just flap her hand up in the air and pull a Hanako on me? I know I was gonna, take it a few notches back on ripping into Misha. But you don't get to steal that. Not wanting to continue the discussion any further, it quickly slips away. Shizune fumes silently, reluctant to let her go, but having no way to keep her there. As Misha's back grows smaller in the distance, I wonder where she's heading off to. Is Shizune wondering the same thing, as she bites her lip in frustration? I want to touch her reassuringly on the shoulder, but I stop myself, not knowing if it's the right thing to do. Not because she looks fragile, vulnerable, or sad. It's the opposite. After a while, her expression belies no emotion at all. Only contemplation. Suddenly, she whirls around. Now all this food is going to go to waste. Now. I want you to use your daddy's money to buy a horse so that you can hold it. I will eat the food. Yeah, no. Shh. Shush your face, Isao. Give me the food. Actually, don't give me the food. I'm already filled to burst, and if I even think of food, I'm not gonna... the video here is just gonna end, because I'm not gonna waste what I already recorded, but I'm not gonna, like, throw in the obvious horrible noises. That makes me mad. Although it's obvious Shizune is more hurt than mad. The bad dangling from my hand feels like it's filled with lead. Let's go on a date. Let's use it then. I understand. This is the whole they're speaking at the same thing deal. And I've done that very, very easy and basic trick with my editing shtick. It's very simple. I just basically hit a separate record and do the voice. But what I'm getting at here, folks, is I'm too tired and lazy. But most importantly, I'm way too lazy. Ellipses. Where do you want to go? Where else do we ever go? If it's not the roof, if it's not the Shanghai, it's going to be quote-unquote the park, aka behind the school. I don't know. The roof. It's my favorite spot. A wry smile appears on her face, disappearing just as quickly. On the roof, I immediately crack open the caviar, ignoring a derisive look on Shizune all the while. I end up putting it down immediately. Where are the toast points? I didn't make any. Like I told you, I bought everything. Not toast points, though. Why is that important? Anyway, they don't sell just toast points. That would be stupid. I bet they do. Maybe in stores for the exceptionally lazy, but not here. Why don't you use a tortilla chip? A tortilla chip is not the same. They're both triangles. Stop being such a princess. I don't know, well, I didn't know there's a proper way to eat caviar. This is the first time I'm hearing it. I've never had caviar. Has anyone had caviar? Is it any good? Do you eat it with toast? Okay, so, if we're in the train of thought that a triangle that you eat is a triangle that you eat, could I theoretically put caviar on a Dorito chip? I want someone to mark this down, the date and time. It's probably its own Christmas miracle. I think I just made myself queasy over a food concoction I just thought up of. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, I ate too much. I mean, unless it's really good, but if it's not, then oh no. What's the word? You think I'd swear that I'm not a masochist. I don't enjoy putting myself in this pain, but you know, now that I think about it, after some of the visual novels that I have played on this channel, I don't think that's the case. It's not the same thing at all. I can't be decadent like this. And anyway, How can she not know? She lives in a huge mansion. Shizune takes the opportunity to scoop half of the tin onto a single chip in the meantime. Hey! I'm sure it doesn't even taste good like that. Ellipses. There's too much food here for 2 people. I would consider those fighting words. I could probably dive through that whole thing. Probably because we can't communicate with each other while we eat. I mean, yes and no. Depends what's in your hands. If you have things in your hands. Both Shizune and I have a lot of time to sit in silence and think about the fact that Misha, the person we set all this up for, isn't here. It's annoying that she isn't here. I can't even enjoy my meal like this. I stare at the paper cup next to her, still half full of juice. I thought you didn't want all this food to go to waste. I wanted Misha to be here too. That was the whole point. I wasn't able to accomplish what I wanted, so it doesn't taste good. You should eat it. Eat more! I want the fried things, though. You keep eating them all, even though you say they don't taste good. Fried things are always delicious. There's always an exception for them. You'll get fat. I think you're being too aggressive. It's like I told you yesterday. I'm only trying to cheer her up. Yeah, but it seems more like you're planning a military campaign. I'm only trying to take it seriously. And this is the only way I know how to do it seriously. With food! I feel so powerless. I hate it. I can't even yell at her, too, even though I want to. Yelling is for serious occasions, right? I yell at everything. That's how I breathe most times. Yeah. You should yell at Misha for me. You can tell her that I want her to stop being so down. You did it, Shizune! You cured depression! I've never wanted to throw a Death/Mew off a roof so badly before in my entire life. Oh god. Oh. The hatred is powering through the nausea. Even if she feels sad and alone, it's no reason to stay gloomy forever. What happened to my mouse? There it is. Oh. Why don't you? I already did. Over a game of dice. Over, to be exact. I won. 5 times. Only the 2 of them would take so much pride in winning games of pure chance. Then I tried to talk to her, but it didn't go so well, obviously. Well, so did I. I tried and failed. There's a goddamn gnat flying in front of me. In fact, then Misha tried to talk to me. She gave me the easiest decision of all time. I mean, if I had to choose between sex with Misha and her being sad, I'm gonna end this conversation. My goal has always been to do everything better, though. Yeah, your one-upmanship is really something. But I failed, too. That's why I want your help. I don't understand what I'm supposed to do anymore. For someone like Shizune, who's only ever interacted with the world by locking horns with every obstacle in her path, understanding only goes so far. I want to tell her she doesn't have to worry. That she is great at cheering people up, because she managed to cheer me up my first week. In retrospect, I must have looked like kind of a dick, being such a sour mood from the moment I came here, even though I don't think I was being unreasonable. Even having months to digest it, finding out that you have a heart defect, like I did, is hard to deal with. I'd had much less time to mull over suddenly being transferred to Yamaku on top of that. Spending the festival with Shizune really helped me out of the rut. I was happy, enough to forget the entire time that I had felt as though she was manipulating me.
I understand now that I had allowed myself to be manipulated.
If you allowed yourself to be manipulated, are you really being manipulated?
Never mind. Even though I felt like I was at the bottom of the world, I still wanted to have a normal life again. I'm sure, because I enjoy what I have now. I think it must be the same for everyone, including Misha. Everyone wants someone there to pull them up, out of their self-pity. It's just that Misha always wanted Shizune to be that person, but because they can't be together, I think Misha feels that she can't accept Shizune's hand, and that frustrates Shizune. But if she could cheer up a stranger like me, then she'll die trying with Misha. I can see it in her eyes, too. Though she tries to treat it like any other problem in her life, Shizune cannot do that with Misha's depression. Her thought processes are entirely different, in some ways more careful, in some ways more reckless, and frantic. She cares that much more. I end up not saying anything, partly because sitting next to her like this, just the two of us, is pleasant enough in itself that I don't want to interrupt the moment with a question. And partly for a more cowardly reason. I'm starting to think that they weren't, but I don't know if her actions that day might not have been an afterthought, or even a fluke, just a collection of coincidences. I don't know if that would change anything, but I'm uncomfortable thinking about it. The fence behind me trembles slightly, and I turn to see that it's because Shizune has fallen asleep leaning against it. Considering that she was up all night, it's not surprising. Where does all that motivation come from? Not just in regards to Misha. I mean, I'm cynical as fuck, so it's hard for me to just accept that anyone can simply be that strong. My first thought was that maybe it's because she hates herself. It's very plausible. Leaning against her, I feel sad knowing that that might be the case. But it could be that we're similar in that we both want to be better people.
You know what? Not that much time has passed. Melatonin hasn't kicked in just fully yet. Let's see what this little chapter can be for a little bit. And then I'll end it. And then go to bed. It seems like I ate too much yesterday. That's going to be me in the morning. Are we in the morning? We're in the morning. I don't like how have I mentioned before I don't like how the multiverses seem to be converging? God, my misadventures in games are not realities I actually want to visit. Because I wake up in the morning feeling just nauseous enough for it to be a problem. I really can't postpone going into town for shopping though, so despite wanting to roll over and sleep it away, I force myself to get up and dress instead. Somewhere between buying a toothpaste and a few other groceries, I end up walking it off. Then I feel hungry. After stopping for breakfast, it hits me how much time has gone by. I didn't expect to be out this long at all. I'm not even sure if I bothered to lock up my door. I should really get back. Kenji has probably ransacked everything. Ah! Why? Why are you here? Why? Why do you here? When I get back to the dorm, I see Hideaki standing in front of my room from the entrance. I can think of a few things more unexpected, and can't help thinking I might have a heart attack just from the surprise. Fortunately, it doesn't happen. Oh my god. Child, what if Kenji came out of his room into the hallway? I don't think you're ready for that. As soon as he sees me, he says hello in his usual detached way. I'm a little slow to reply to him, so he repeats the greeting without missing a beat.
Hello. Is something wrong?
I'm just surprised to see you here. Not as surprised as I could have been, since it's impossible to stake him for anyone else. I'd recognize those weird clothes anywhere. Come to think of it, I've really surrounded myself with distinctive-looking people lately. Hideaki's head lolls slightly to one side, a little too easily.
Why? Is it unusual to see someone's family come to see them? Well, oh my god, yes, actually. Oh, Jesus. Hisao, please write your family. So Hideaki isn't such a robot after all. In fact, it's almost as if he's more caught off guard by the fact that he can even be caught off guard, but he recovers quickly. Nevertheless, in that brief moment, he looks his age. That uncomfortable side of his seems to... Oh no. Oh no. I think that's my cue. I'm gonna get through this sentence. That uncomfortable side of his seems like the more honest, and I wouldn't mind seeing more of it. Not so much, though. I just made myself a liar. That I go out of my way to pry. Only Shizune would be that zealous. Though my thoughts get so far, it's proof that she is rubbing off on me. I'm gonna stop making myself a liar, and I'm gonna save. I'm overwriting. Melatonin kicking in. Food coma kicking in. Christmas cheer going.